India is playing both America and China and winning. Ian Bremmer called it the strongest geopolitical positions of any middle power on the planet. Not because India has the biggest military or the richest economy, but because it refuses to pick a side and still gets invited to every table. In a G0 world where no single power is writing the rules anymore, this flexibility is pure power. Influence increasingly belongs to the countries that can work with competing giants and still walk away independent. Today we are breaking down exactly how India pulled this off and whether it can last.
I call it a pivot state because India has both the growth and the geographic insulation to be able to work effectively with countries all over the world.
Pivot states, that's an interesting way to put it. What Bremmer means is India is not locked into any single alliance. It has enough economic weight to matter and enough geographic space to avoid getting boxed in. European countries are tied to US security. Southeast Asian nations have to balance China. India just has more room to move. Whether that's a lasting advantage or just a temporary window is the real question.
I mean, you were saying before that not much Chinese investment and trade in India infrastructure. You don't want to have that vulnerability, technology, data surveillance, all the rest. But India has managed to build good relations with almost everybody. India is really fascinating in that it's in the Quad. So it has a really privileged relationship with Japan. It has a really privileged relationship with the United States as a strategic partner. Lots of companies want to invest in India now.
So India is in the Quad with the US, Japan and Australia. That gives it privileged access to major economies, and companies like Apple and Google are investing heavily. But here's the thing, strong Western ties don't automatically make India anti-China. It is playing a careful balancing act. The question is how long that balance can hold as pressure builds from both sides.
But India is also the clear leader of the global South. China is not anymore. China is the lead creditor to the global South. They loan money to the global South, and then when the money is due, China squeezes you. So they don't trust the Chinese, right? The way they used to. They need the Chinese, but they don't trust them.
This is the boldest claim in the interview. India is the clear leader of the global South. China is not anymore. Bremmer's reasoning is that China became a creditor who squeezed defaulting nations, and that eroded trust. Sri Lanka, Pakistan and Zambia are examples. Countries still need Chinese money, but they don't trust it like they used to. Meanwhile, India has built a reputation as a more reliable partner. If that's true, it's a significant shift worth watching closely.
But most of the countries in the global South actually trust India. And so when India was chairing the G20, it acted as a bridge, as a pivot between the G7 and between the global South.
Bremmer argues that India's trustworthiness let it play a unique role at the G20, bridging the wealthy G7 and the global South. The US can't easily do that because of colonial baggage. China can't because of its creditor reputation. So India had a lane to itself. Whether that was an effective diplomacy or just convenient timing is debatable. But the positioning was definitely useful for India.
And Modi has also managed to stabilize the relationship with China to a degree, right? I mean, certainly we've seen that in the border region where tensions have been reduced, thankfully. We've also seen that on trade. We've seen it on travel. And so I think that it's not a friendly relationship, but it has become a more stable and accommodative relationship than it was 3 years ago, 5 years ago. So, I mean, for that reason, India is in perhaps the strongest overall geopolitical position of all of the middle powers, if you want to put it that way.
There it is, strongest overall geopolitical position of all the middle powers. Bremmer's point is that India's strategic autonomy combined with trust from multiple blocs gives it unique leverage. Turkey, Brazil, Saudi Arabia and Germany, none can play both sides as effectively. But this position depends on managing internal tensions, economic inequalities, and border disputes. It's strong, but not without risks.
It's actually true, and we could see that and we feel that not only from the national point of view or from international politics point of view, but from inside the country as well. We could see our relationships getting better with almost every country, our trade, our opportunities just opening up everywhere.
I mean, there are other countries that are doing that at a much smaller scale. I mean, Singapore, of course, has done that. That's their whole model.
Yeah.
The Emiratis have done that. That's their whole model. But no one has done that with the size of India. And that's what's truly impressive about it.
The host is right. This is not abstract. Trade deals and investment are tangible on the ground. Bremmer adds crucial context. Singapore and the UAE play both sides, but they are small. But India does it with 1.4 billion people, nukes, and a massive military. That scale makes neutrality harder, but also more consequential. Size brings complexity too. More borders, internal tensions, competing interests. Global powers court India to counter China. If that dynamic shift, so could its leverage. Momentum is real, sustainability is the open question. So that's the case. India is playing both America and China and winning. Not because it's the biggest or richest, but because it refuses to pick a side and still gets invited to every table. In a G0 world where no single power writes the rules, this flexibility is pure power. Influence belongs to those who can work with competing giants and still walk away independent. So the question now is not whether India has this position, it's whether it can hold it. So what's your take? Is this sustainable or just a moment in time? Drop your thoughts below.